white shirts. कितने plain और simple. Fog scent. Plain और simple white shirt को बना दे special और fashionable. Fog scent. New fashion wear for men.
Good morning. You're watching the F&O Show on Bloomberg Went Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Good morning, Navneet. Good morning, viewers. I'm Darshan Mehta. It's a positive start to the week. The Nifty is trading above the 10,300 mark in trade. The broader markets gain in line with the benchmark indices. India week cools off marginally. Open interest in Berger Paints and NIIT Tech surges after traders take fresh position in the respective futures. ITC is among the Nifty gainers as cigarette cess is kept unchanged at the GST Council. Shrimp exporters like Apex Foods as well as Avanti Feeds are down more than 4% each after the US Commerce Department suggests a threefold jump in anti-dumping duty. And Farmers delegation is currently meeting the Maharashtra Chief Minister, even as 50,000 others stay put at the Azad Maidan. So the Nifty is doing well, up 100 points. So what are the futures indicating?
Well, Darshan, the good part is we're building on to the gains that we saw at the opening level. So right now we're almost at the high point of the day. Let's just pull up the Nifty futures and see what's doing currently. 10,329 is where the spot Nifty is, but the worrisome sign can still be that the futures are still trading at a discount of nearly 6 to 7 points. Over the course of the day, important to monitor if Nifty futures can turn into premium. Well, what's not doing that well is Bank Nifty. It is in the green, but what's dragging the Bank Nifty lower is the PSU banking space, because as we speak, the Nifty PSU banking index is down 1% and the build-up on the Nifty bank futures has been nearly 12% just in the first 45 minutes to 1 hour of trading. So Nifty PSU bank down almost 0.8%, but the futures are trading at a premium of 64 points. So besides this index, most of the sectoral indices have started the day on a positive note. So be it IT, FMCG, metals, all three of them have seen ticks of nearly % or more than that in the opening session. The VIX has cooled off mildly, but in terms of options data, what's happening in today's trading session, the 10,400 call strike has seen the maximum OI addition of nearly 4 lakh shares. And on the put side, there has been heavy writing on the 10,300 strike, which has added nearly 10 lakh shares. If you go by the premium there, it's almost 100 rupees, which is telling you the put writers are at least capping the downside to almost 10,200, because till the time index falls to those levels, they will be still safe with their position. And in terms of what the institutions have been doing, the FIs have been now net short on the index futures space, and also if you look at the index option, they bought more of puts compared to calls.
Yeah, so Navneet, I just wanted to point one thing. No doubt you said that the 10,300 put writers are extremely active. 10 lakh shares have been added, but we are above the 10,300 mark and call writers haven't shed significantly. Right. All I can see is just 10,000 shares have been shed. On the 10,200, no doubt 4 lakh shares have been shed, indicating that, you know, they don't expect the markets to come back to 10,200, but it seems that, you know, bears are still hopeful that, you know, 10,300 again will be taken down on the downside.
Until last week, Darshan, the fight was for the 10,200 strike. I think now that it's moves to 10,300 considering the gap up opening that we've had today.
So there wasn't enough, all I'm saying is there's not enough shedding of open interest to give confidence that the rally probably...
From the call side, yes, there has to be more shedding, and that actually we can monitor only during the course of the day. But the addition that one is seen for the 10,300 strike, that is big. So 10,300 could be the big support level. And it's just 45 minutes or 1 hour
and it's moved down to almost 11.5 lakh shares now. But let's take a look at some of the futures also and options, what's happening in terms of some of the stocks. Firstly, in terms of open interest gainers, there is NIIT Tech, which is seeing fresh buying on open interest build-up of 26%. Godrej Industries is seeing heavy selling. Andhra Bank is seeing heavy selling. Open interest build-up of anywhere over 10%. Canara Bank is again bleeding, and Adani Enterprises is bleeding. So all the high open interest build-up is pretty much on the short side. In terms of short covering is seen a little bit in Britannia today. Kotak Mahindra Bank is the other one in which a little bit of short covering is seen. IRB Infra is seeing decent short covering in trade. Open interest is down in trade, while Reliance Communication and NTPC are the two counters which are flat in trade. So that's broadly what's happening with the future side currently.
Okay, so that's the market setup as we speak. And before we get our guest on the show, here's a reminder for you all. If you have any queries in the futures and options market, you can call us now on 022-4540-4141. You can also write to us on our social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, with #AskSpeakYou hashtag. Let's welcome our F&O experts for the day. Then Chandan Taparia of Motilal Oswal Securities and Gaurav Bisa of LKP Securities are joining us on the show. Good morning to both of you gentlemen, and appreciate you joining us today in Bloomberg Quinn. Chandan, let me come to you first. What have you made of the opening, gap up opening? We're only building on to the gains. No sort of selling pressure has been seen from those higher levels.
Yes, market open positive and holding wells about 10,276, 10,300 zone. So now it manages to hold the same, then there are chances for heading towards 10,385. There is a 50% retracement of the entire down leg from 10,630 to 10,141 level. So as of now, till it holds about 10,276, I'll attempt to buy for an up move towards 10,385 in the level. Similarly, the put writing is also visible at 10,300, so that is likely to hold the market on decline as of now. And overall, expecting the consolidative move between 10,150, 200 to 10,450, 500 kind of zone. And I'll go for buy on decline strategy in this market. On immediate basis, 10,270 is my support for going long position.
Gaurav, what's your overall view on the market? What are the important levels that you're tracking on the Nifty? And also if you have something on the Bank Nifty also?
Good morning. First things first, that when the show started with the option explanation, I think it was a very wonderful explanation that you were discussing among the two, that the small amount of shedding we are seeing in 10,300 call option, up to 10,500 seen a little bit more shedding. The crucial levels at 10,300, we have opened on a gap up note. It's been sustained so far. But thing is that gaps in last 2 months have not been sustained, whether a down gap or a upward gap. If we are to close about 10,300, then there's a chance that we may head towards 10,420, 450 in a matter of 2 or 3 days. So the ideal strategy would be to wait till this kind of trading session. But if somebody wants to buy here, I think buying a 10,400 call option would make sense. I think it can head towards 100 rupee. One can have a 10, 15 rupee stop loss, and it would be more of a trading bet. And for Bank Nifty, 24,500 call option has a very high concentration. If Bank Nifty were to close about 24,500, we can expect another 200, 300 point rally coming because of short covering the option side, and that can be a decent trade. For now, I'm not too keen in trading for Bank Nifty because it is trading below the immediate resistance of 24,500. On the other hand, Nifty has crossed the levels of 10,300, which were the immediate resistance levels. And once we are closing above these levels, we can expect some more upside coming in terms of 10,450 also.
Okay, so Gaurav's option strategy for the day is on Nifty, where he's suggesting to buy the 10,400 call strike with a target price of nearly 100 and stop loss of 55. Chandan, any option strategy on Nifty or Bank Nifty?
Yeah, I'll continue to trade with the call side now as market is holding. So either one can go with the 10,400 call, or can go with the 10,350 call, which is trading near to 100, buy near to 95, put a stop loss of 75 and look for 140 kind of level in this strategy.
Okay, Chandan, any view on NIT Tech? The counter is moving up decently, it's up 2%, but the open interest build-up is very high at close to almost 25%. How does this look on the charts, and what does the F&O trend indicate?
Yeah, positively on most of the IT counter, or in fact CNX IT is doing well. You talk about Infosys, TCS, NIT, Tech Mahindra, Mindtree, positively on the same. NIT has seen the built-up of long position. From last 4 weeks, the stock is continuously moving upwards. However, some pause is visible, but overall trend is positive. And a small follow beyond 900 could take it towards 935, 950 zone. So overall expecting positive move till it holds above 870 zone. Traders can go long and continue to be on the long position into the counter.
Okay, that's a substantial open interest build up, 26% for NIT. But the top two F&O securities as of now on the gaining side are United Spirits and as well as ITC. And both, the reason is that in the GST Council meet on Saturday, neither the ENA nor the cigarette taxes were discussed, as a result of which that uptick has been seen. ITC being a heavyweight, it's up 3% and is contributing also the most to the gains that one is seeing on Nifty. Gaurav, if I may come to you, United Spirits had seen a correction from those levels of 4,000. Finally, some bounce back post that development. Any view on United Spirits and ITC, a stock which so far has been underperforming, or let's say it's been languishing in that range of 260 to 270?
For United Spirits, I think there's immediate resistance at 3160, 3180 levels, and we have seen a bounce back, strong bounce back from the immediate levels of support levels of 2980, 3000. So the ideal way to approach the name would be to buy about 3180, 3200, in which case the stop loss would be around 3130, 3140, and on the upside it can retest levels of 3320, 3340. That would be the right trade. And for ITC, I think it's not been doing too much. It has been up today, but there are multiple resistance we're seeing on the upside. 270 is the most prominent one. If it conquers 270, then there's a possibility it may head towards 275, 280. But then again, I don't see too much of a trade coming in. It's not a very high beta name wherein you preempt something and it will give you returns in a day or two. It was up 3%, so I think major part of its upside is already over. It can move a little bit, a couple of percentage more, but I don't see a lucrative trade at this point in time.
Okay, let's take some of the queries that are coming in live right now. Dheeraj Kumar is holding 2 lots of Reliance Communication at 23.25. Please suggest what he should do, any point holding it. And Chandan, you take this one.
We don't have coverage on ADSE counter, but technically it is stock holding below multiple support of 23. So holding below the same may take it to 20 kind of level, and medium term trend is negative, so better to avoid these kind of counter.
Okay.
Okay, so avoid Reliance Communication. Remember, the counter was weak throughout last week. Our next query is from Kinjal Ranch, who writes to us on Facebook. Kinjal's bought LIC Housing Finance at 494, and I guess the current price is below Kinjal's buy price, around 484 or 485. 486 is where the futures are trading currently. Gaurav, I'll come to you. What would you suggest Kinjal to do, to book losses or hold on?
The overall trend for the stock has been quite negative. It's been quite weak, and we are seeing short positions getting built on concession basis at higher levels. It's not been sustaining levels. 500 call option is seeing good amount of writing. So as long as trading below 500, I would not be too interested in being in the name. However, it's just trading near the immediate support levels of 480. One can have a support of 480 and hold on to the positions. If at all we see a bounce back coming in, a relief rally sort of, it can head towards 500. Probably a better exit price can be seen. So with a small source of 1% from the current price, one can hold on to the LIC housing only for a bounce back.
Okay, there is a person called Ankit Shah, and he's written on Tata Group stocks. Please share your view: Tata Chemicals, Tata Power, or Tata Motors. Gaurav, you go. Which of the three is looking the strongest? Tata Chemicals, Tata Power, or Tata Motors?
Well, among the three, Tata Chemical is the only one that has been stable. It has not been too much. It has not been falling significantly. Neither it has been rising. It's been trading in a range. So I think that's the only one that one can look at it. Supports are seen at 670 and a dip towards 680, 678 can be used for buying Tata Chemical. On the upside, targets of 725, 730 can be seen. Tata Motors is still trading below the crucial support levels. So as long as trading below 355, I would not be too interested. It is rather very risky for the reason that it can still step to lower levels. I would not be too interested. I would be a little bit skeptical in other names. Probably Tata Chemical is one that can be used for buying in dips.
Okay, since we're discussing the Tata Group companies, Robin Thakur writes to us on Twitter. He wants to know if he can buy Tata Steel at current levels. And Tata Steel's trading somewhere about 618. Last week was not so good for the metal stocks, but some bit of recovery has been seen. The futures, however, are trading at a discount of almost 2 rupees. Chandan, at current levels of 618 or 616 on the futures, would you suggest him to go long?
No, I'll wait for some stability in the Tata Steel. The stock has seen the significant short built up and the sustained call writing was visible in the counter. On last trading session, it witnessed the sharp selling from 635 to 605 kind of zone. However, it respected to some put writing of 600, but it is very important to surpass 625-35 zone. And what I feel, even on bounce back move, it may get stuck at higher level. So better to avoid, let the counter stable, because metal stocks have seen the significant selling pressure and stock is at make or break level. So I'll suggest to buy only if it moves above 635. Then there are chances to again going to our 675, 700. Otherwise, the stock has break the recent low. So 635 is major key level for me. And if you ask me on immediate basis, then I'll avoid going long and I'll wait to resistance to act as a resistance supply area for the counter.
Okay, one of our guests, I don't know what his real name is, but his Twitter account is Lala Land. He's saying he has a BML 1300 call at 13 rupees. Should he hold or exit? The 1300 call at 13, if he can pull it up, it's pretty much at the same level. Chandan, what should Lala Land do?
You discuss about BEL, right?
BEML, Bharat Earth Movers.
Okay. Again, we don't have coverage on BEML. We take BL, but both the stocks have not doing well. Talking about the BML, that recently, just couple of days back, stock has seen recovery but failed to surpass 50-day exponential moving average. And the same moving average is working as a sustained supply pressure for the counter, making lower top, lower bottom formation in expiry to expiry basis. These counters are showing some weakness, so I'll avoid going long as of now.
Avoid going long on BEML. On Facebook, Hariom Panchal says he shorted IDBI Bank at 73.5 for intraday purpose and he is making money. I think the current price is somewhere about 68 or 68 and 67 now. Actually, it slipped further. IDBI Bank is trading with cuts of 5%. He wants to know if he can short more or book his profit. Chandan, I'll come back to you. IDBI Bank, what would you suggest if somebody shorted around the levels of 72, 73? Should they be booking profits, or he also wants to know if he can add more shots?
No, I'll suggest him to trail stop loss of near to 70 zone. The stock has seen sharp up move in the last 2-3 weeks back, but failed to surpass and hold beyond 90 zone and witness the sharp decline. On immediate basis, it is making lower top, lower bottom formation. Shorts are being built, but what I feel that 62, 63 kind of zone could provide support. So stock may stuck there, and I'll suggest to trail stop loss of 74, holding the short position.
Gaurav, there's a query from a person called Dexter DeVito. He's saying he's looking for a long-term investment. His time frame is 6 to 7 years in Yes Bank. So he's saying if he wants to invest for a pretty long time, is this the right time to invest, or should we wait for the stocks to dip further? And if not Yes Bank, is there any other stock that looks good for his timeline for a 5 to 6 year horizon?
To be honest, I don't look for that long a period. I mostly look for short-term trading recommendation trading ideas. So investment is not my forte. But having said that, we have seen that the price history for Yes Bank has been quite strong. We have now seen a good correction from 350 levels to around 300 mark. So 280, 300 has been acting as a strong support level. So if somebody wants to buy for a longer term period, I think Yes Bank is not that a bad name. It has been performing quite well. So this is a good price, and if you are looking for 6-7 years, then I don't think it would matter too much if you are buying at 300 or 280 rupees, because the horizon is quite long, and any dips are more lucrative to add positions in a good quality names. So on that premise, I think Yes Bank is good enough for 6 to 7 year horizon.
Okay, on YouTube, Ravi Shankar writes to us. He wants to know on Maruti 9000 call, which he's bought at 95, he's asking if you should book losses here or wait. I guess the current premium on the 9000 call strike of Maruti is somewhere about 60 to 65. We'll just pull up that rate. Okay, it's slipped below that mark as well, 59.5. Chandan, should he wait or book his losses?
See, if you look at the price action, earlier this stock used to be the darling of the option buyers because it used to trade in momentum. But in last couple of days or couple of weeks, the stock has got stuck, and sustained call writing is visible at higher levels. However, it has formed the short-term bottom near to 8650, 8700, 8550, 8600 zone, but the follow-up buying is missing. However, those who are holding in future can see an up move towards 9000, 9015. But that will be slow and steady. But in that scenario, the option buyers may not make that kind of money. So I'll suggest him to either exit or trail stop loss of 8650 kind of level in the spot in Maruti.
Okay, and the final query that we have, and Gaurav, you can take this one. Ankit Upadhyay says he has 2 lots of Sun Pharma. He went long at 545. Please suggest what he should do. Let's see where the counter is currently. It is, if we can pull up the stock price of Sun Pharma. Gaurav, you can suggest what he should do. He's making a big loss on it, almost a 30 rupee loss. Gaurav, what should Ankit do?
I have a surplus of 505, 506, and we long in the day. We have seen bounce back on multiple locations happening from these levels. There is a possibility if these levels sustain, you can again get back your price. It can be a good recovery towards 535, 536. So with a small loss, you can exit the positions. For time, I think it is prudent to have a stop loss of 505 and hold the name for at least 3 to 4 trading sessions.
Okay, so those were a couple of our viewer queries, but let's switch focus and take the top trading strategies from our experts. Chandan, I'll come to you in terms of stock futures. What are you recommending?
Yeah, first is buy on Jubilant Food. The stock is holding the gains and resilience at the time of market decline. It has been moving in a rising channel and surpassed immediate falling supply trend line on the daily chart. We have seen some accumulation of long position in last two trading sessions, and that is clearly visible even by the rising trading volume. It has managed to hold or close about 2050, and that used to be immediate hurdle for the counter. So expecting a good move into the counter, one can buy with a stop loss of 2025, 2030. And already it has moved up, so one can trail stop loss to higher level, and we are looking at target towards 2150 kind of level. Second trade is buy on Tech Mahindra. As discussed positively on most of the IT counter, and Tech Mahindra is all set to start the next leg of rally, which may give the fresh up move. It has been consolidating with multiple support of 600 zone in last 7 to 8 trading session, and today also it formed a positive price action. A small follow-up could lead the next move, so I'm recommending to buy with a stop loss of 620 and expecting an up move to a 665. Apart from their other IT counter like Infosys and iTech also looks strong in line with the Tech Mahindra.
Okay, Gaurav, you also seem to be bullish on Tech Mahindra. So your view on that and your trading strategy?
I think with Chandan already giving Tech Mahindra, there's not much need to explain the rationale, but yes, there are a decent amount of long positions. Today also we have seen around 4% over addition happening in the name. It's trading above the crucial levels of 620 and 630. These are held. A smooth ride till 650 cannot be ruled out. Overall IT space is looking quite robust. And these are not very volatile names that if market corrects a bit, we will not see too much of pressure coming in the name. So one can have a small stop of 624 on the upside, targets of 650 can be seen. Another would be Saran Kajaria. It's been failing to sustain levels of 575, 580, and some unwinding was seen a couple of days back. Today we are seeing 2% over addition happening. Some shorts, intraday shorts have been seen getting built. One can have a stop of 576 and on downside, one can expect levels of 555 that can be seen next day or two.
Okay, so those are the top trading strategies from our expert. I'm just going to take one more query, which has come on YouTube. Ashutosh Singh writes to us, he's shorted NBCC futures around 264, which means he's been rolling over his position since the month of November, because that was the time when the stock used to trade around those levels. Currently, it's 183, and he wants to know if he should be booking profits on his short position on NBCC futures. Chandan, take this one. Would you recommend him to hold on to his shorts, which he's been rolling over, or he should cover his profits?
So the stock is in negative trend if you just look at the expiry move plus 4 expiries. Earlier it started its move by surpassing 177 zone. It took some time near to that level, and above that it rallied by more than 100 points. It has come to that level. So 177 is the support, but already it is holding with tight grip. Weekly chart is continuously making lower top, lower bottom formation. So I'll suggest to continue to be with the position. Below, as mentioned, 177, the fresh leg of decline would come. But for that, I'll suggest to trail stop loss of 190 and wait for more decline if that happens into the counter.
Okay, many thanks to both Chandan and Gaurav for joining us on the show today and helping us address all the viewer queries and helping us with our strategies. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, just before we go to Purva, there's just can you pull up Ramco Cements? I think there's a big surge on open interest build-up on the counter. So just wanted to point that before we move on to the important story. So Ramco Cements, I believe it's seen a high open interest build-up. Yeah, 90% open interest build-up. Suddenly there's a big surge that's happening. Counter hasn't moved that much. But let's move on to the important story. 50,000 and counting, that's the number of farmers who have arrived in Mumbai after walking all the way from Nasik all over the last week. The farmers who plan to hold a peaceful demonstration outside the Maharashtra Assembly today are currently camping at Azad Maidan. Let's go across to Purva Chitnis, who is on the ground to tell us exactly what these farmers want from the state governments. Purva, what exactly do they want now?
So yes, we've been tracking this story since morning, and these farmers are right now currently camping at the Azad Maidan. And the latest that we have right now is that they are the organizers are expected to come in shortly and going to address the farmers who are sitting right here at the Azad Maidan. And around 2 p.m, the Maharashtra government has agreed to talk to the representatives is the latest that we have for you. But as you remember, like these farmers have been marching for the past 6 days, and from Nashik they've started, and now there are around 50 to 60 odd thousand farmers who have come around marched 180, 200 kilometers and have arrived here in Mumbai, and their demands are a complete loan waiver, complete farm loan waiver, then Swaminathan implementation of Swaminathan Commission. So there are these basic demands, and also the fair compensation for their produce. So these are the basic demands of these farmers who are currently camping here at the Azad Maidan. Over to you.
Thanks, Purva, for bringing that ground report from Azad Maidan. But with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the F&O Show. Thanks a lot for watching. Stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint for more news and updates.